We're here live. I don't know what's going on with the chat. The chat normally is on the screen, but yeah, we had some technical difficulties. I don't know if you guys. I don't want to reveal too much because I know there's some sensitive info on here, but there's a little monkey on the screen right now that's telling me it's not working the chat. So I don't know what's going on. I hope I didn't show any sensitive information. But what's up, guys? We're back with another live. I talked to you guys literally this morning about, the Tom Aspinall situation with Cyril Khan, massive updates that happen. But this stream, as you guys know, every Monday we do this where you guys can call in with whatever you guys want. The link is in the description if you guys want to actually, put or not even, I think it's also a pinned, it's in the description. Oh, sorry guys. I have to view the chat from my phone right now. Where are you at, Jack? We got to talk about Ronda trying to get a fight against Katie Taylor. What type of drug is she on? I see you. Sound good. All right, bet. Yo, what's up? And yeah, that is perfect. What's up, Ooh gang? Yo, Ooh is also live. I saw trying to put his stuff in my chat. Like, come on, you guys should be supporting me and saying I'm gonna turn off all the streams so then everyone could tune in to JackMMA. But it's all good. I love Uwu. Shout out to Uwu. Shout out to Fish Nerds. There is that to talk about Ronda Rousey. For those of you guys that don't know, Ronda Rousey, there's reports, which, by the way, guys, I feel like all this boxing MMA news just randomly pops off and never goes anywhere. We see it all the time, especially with like Floyd Mayweather is going to fight this MMA fighter, and then it never happens. Like every few years we see, Conor versus Floyd 2 is going to happen. I think this is another one of that just because, first it would explain, because we did see about a few months ago, Ronda Rousey, she posted a lot of footage of her training on pads and things. So that would explain, I guess, why she actually posted that. But, I think to say that you could take on Katie Taylor, you're smoking crack. Like, I was thinking maybe she would come back for the White House, which is also, just as much smoking crack. And also, I just realized, guys, my lighting is all messed up. Well, not really messed up. You guys probably don't notice it, but I have a bit of a blue lighting usually. You see there, it was a little white. It's a little behind the scenes on how we do this over here. But, yeah, so Jack is Jewish. Shalom. I am not Jewish, actually. I'm a Catholic Christian guy. So Irish Catholic. Shout out to my Catholics out there. Shout out to all religions. We love all religions. But, yeah, no, speaking of religion, Ronda Rousey's going to need some religion if she's going to go in there against Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor, like, she doesn't hit hard necessarily, like, because she doesn't have a lot of knockouts, but I do think she would be able to knock out Ronda Rousey, bro. So that would be tough. I think she's much more better off just, trying to fight MMA or fighting Juliana Pena at the White House card. I was saying, that's actually not a bad fight. And Juliana Pena, she's not the most reliable with her injuries, but let's be honest, I don't know if Dana White actually cares all that much about reliability. I think it was just a John Jones issue, to be honest. Lol, I just saw a post saying she has a rumored boxing match with Taylor. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right now, Jose. Shout out to you. I thought it says Joe. I don't know why I said Red Jose. It's because now I'm reading it through. Should I see if it's working? Like, I don't know why. It did this actually a few streams ago, and then it randomly started working. I'll also tweet out the link. Perfect. All right, yo, I think I'll restart my my browser. But it's honestly not that big of a deal. I could see the chat through here. But yeah, no, that's what we were talking about, was the fact that, yeah, apparently she's going to do this boxing match, which absolutely makes no sense for poor Ronda Rousey, who is just going to get knocked out and humiliated once again. She would literally probably be doing this for a paycheck, but look, she fought in WWE. She fought in the UFC as well. In UFC, I'm not saying she made, as much as probably as she should have, but she definitely has money left over from UFC, I would think, to be honest. All right, guys, I think I should be able to put the chat on now. Let me see what you guys are saying. Ronda should grapple UFC BJJ. Yeah, actually, I like that idea. And that would be, once again, yeah, we have the chat back. Chat is back, so I'm going to put the chat back on the screen, and you guys could see it, and I could read it like a normal guy now. John Dong. What's up, John Dong? Let's see. Okay. Studio. Yep, perfect. Okay, boom. I think this is good. This is good, but I think it kind of needs to be a little skinnier. All right. Anyway, guys, let's see what you guys are saying. What did I miss? Sub John Dong. I also think the fake anger over the recent UFC Paramount booking is silly. I understand why the UFC went with who they went with, and that first card is super legit. Fish Nerds, man. Fish Nerds. That's something. And John Dong says that Fish Nerds because it's a big event and they don't want to risk him pulling out. Who? Oh, with Armin pulling out. Oh, I agree. Well, okay. That's what I wanted to say. And I'll read the full thing in a minute, but I just want to respond to that real quick. I'm also make it a little bit skinnier. Let me respond to that. So I actually said in my video, if it was just Patty versus Gaethje, listen, guys, do I think it's a bit ridiculous? Yeah, it is a bit ridiculous because you got Max Holloway, Charles Oliveira. Also, we forget. I mean, I know he got knocked out by Ilya, but he just beat Mateusz Gamrot and in pretty convincingly a few months ago. And there was someone else, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, and Armin Tsarukyan, of course. How could I forget him? Most importantly, Armin. So it is a bit ridiculous, and yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done Gaethje versus Patty. I agree, but I'm willing to let it slide. I actually really like that fight, and I'm excited for the fight. Even I don't care what it's for at the end of the day. If it's for an interim title, it's crazy to me. What I think is a little crazy to me is actually it does make a little bit of sense why people are so out of arms, because you're making an interim title fight. But if this was a 5-round co-main event, we would all be like, oh, this is a really good fight. And it still is a really good fight. And I think when we get close to the fight, this talk of, maybe I don't really see anybody necessarily, honestly, though, shitting on the fight as much. I don't really see many people taking a shit on the fight because, I don't know. I feel like most people acknowledge it's a good fight, but it's just not maybe who should be fighting for an interim title. And that I agree with, but what I think is absolutely deserving of rage is Volkanovski versus Lopez. That is terrible decision. You got Movsar, you got Lerone Murphy. I mean, I would much rather see Lerone Murphy versus Volkanovski. I also wanted to see Movsar versus Volkanovski, but either one of those would have been good. And it seemed like at one point that maybe, I don't know why they won't just do it. Like I said, my only thing is I am curious if maybe Lerone Murphy or Movsar turned down any fights in the past year. Maybe that's why. But I don't know. I have no knowledge of that. And apparently also the UFC is going to do a seasonal press conference this Friday. And we'll see who's there. I mean, we heard that there's apparently going to be some decent stars on the card. So I'm curious to see. I would probably guess. Obviously, I think, what do you call it? Hoke Talk. What's up, Hoax Talks? Yeah, I feel like I recognize you, Hoax, from like way back in the day. Let me see. Holy 191K. Shout out, bro. What the fuck? Shout out you Hoax Talks. But yeah, no, I thought I recognized you from a while ago. What's up, bro? Glad to see you. Glad you're back. Glad you're back to the full, bro. Join the Discord and shit. Let's see. And join the call, bro. And we'll say what's up. I don't post anymore. Damn, yeah, you must have been popping when you were posting, bro. The fuck? I see a few like YouTube community posts, but I don't see anything. But yeah, I swear I used to watch you ages ago, man. No, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming back. Honestly, guys, I get a lot of this. Oh, YouTube isn't suggesting you. I don't know why YouTube isn't suggesting me. You know what I'm saying? And I really don't know why. So I think it's just at the end of the day, you just got to keep going at it and it'll favor you, because my videos actually like perform pretty well. Like, I don't really know how much more I could perform better on these videos. But I also don't know what anyone else's stats are. So, I really don't know, but from what I've read online and stuff, I'm like, my stats are pretty good, in the YouTube game. So, I appreciate it. In terms of like, and what I mean by stats is I'm not even talking about the stats you guys can see where it's like, oh, numbers. I'm talking about like watch time, how many people are clicking on it, this, that, impressions, all that stuff. I'm talking about that stats, and I'm like, it should be sharing it to more people, but whatever. Point is if you guys hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, you guys will always get the content. So shout out to all y'all. And yeah, no, but I don't get why they don't just do Lerone versus Movsar Evloev. Or not, well, they should do that next since they're not going to do it. But I don't get why they didn't just make Volkanovski versus either Lerone or Movsar. And I don't understand too. Like I said, that being the main event, guys, is a joke. That is a joke. That isn't fake outrage. That deserves more outrage. Like, I could never defend that in my head ever. I'll never be defended. And I'm curious what Fish Nerds has to say about that, because I understand Gaethje Patty, whatever, that's fine, but it's okay. Let's see. John Dong says at Fish Nerds, cause it's a big event, they don't want to risk him pulling out, and that's what it was about Armin, and they were defending the Armin choice. John Dong was defending the Armin choice by saying like, oh, UFC could be afraid that he's gonna pull out. That actually is, and this was talking about Ronda Rousey also being in UFC BJJ. Yeah, I agree with that, obviously, but. And with the Armin thing, I mean, I guess. I mean, that's what I said in my video. If it's truly because he missed weight, I understand. If he missed weight, I understand all of this. But if he truly was injured, which, guys, we've never even got a confirmation on this. At this point, I think it's up to Armin to come out with some sort of proof and say, hey, guys, I was injured. So, to me, it's up, honestly, on Armin because Dana White has pretty much come out and said he missed weight. So, it's like, and Armin has kind of was dead silent at that accusation. And now I saw recently, once again, kind of double down and say, no, I was injured. I didn't miss weight. So, I'm curious to see, did he miss weight or was it just that he was injured? If he was injured, I mean, and it was a serious injury, look, shit happens. Like that happened with Derek Lewis not that long ago where he had an issue, and it got all solved or whatever. But I don't know, guys. I don't know what the UFC is up to these days, man. UFC is fumbling a little bit with some of these matchups. But I feel like at the same time, guys, I don't think it's as doom and gloom. And I'm not going to go as far as to say, oh, yeah, that the UFC is cooked 1,000%, because what I think will happen is I think we're going to see the UFC kind of dip and then have rises. It happens, dude. It happens with everything. And at this point, it seems like that Dana White's doing a lot of stuff. And you know, another thing, too, is like I was watching yesterday when I was editing the video and making the video and all that stuff for the Tom Aspinall the video I posted this morning, but I did it last night. And what do you call it? I was doing it, and I watched back Dana White's post-fight press conference about Tom Aspinall and Cyril Gahn. Like, I just don't think this guy, I don't know, maybe he's done. Maybe he's cooked. Maybe he needs to just retire at this point, even Dana himself. E. Goddeth says, if this is Volk's last fight, I'll let him sail in the sunset happy with another Lopez win. I don't care. Well, my thing about that is, guys, like, I would understand that, but to be honest, and this is a crazy take maybe for you guys, maybe you guys will think this is a crazy take, I actually think Lopez is the most dangerous out of all those guys for Volk to take because he has knockout power. He's got submission power. Lerone Murphy doesn't really have much finishing power. Yeah, he kind of knocked out in his last one, but let's be honest, guys, it was a bit of a fluke, in my opinion. To be fair, Lopez's last one was more impressive than Murphy's last win, but I guess you mean, yeah, because I guess if we're talking about who they beat. But at the same time, no, I wouldn't necessarily say that. But Mobzar deserves the title shot the most. Yeah, Mobzar. Who did Mobzar fight last? I want to see Mobzar. Well, he fought Aljamain, but didn't he fight someone? Has he not fought since Aljamain? If that's why, then okay, then I can kind of understand why they didn't go with Mobzar. Let's see. So Mobzar last fought. Oh, fuck, what the hell's going on, man? UFC screwing me over right now. Alright, Mobzar last fought, yeah, against Aljamain Sterling, and he was supposed to fight in the summer. Yeah, bro fought Sterling last. Yeah, it's been a minute, bro. That's what I was like, no way it's been that long. Because I knew he had that fight canceled in July, and it seemed like, oh, that maybe he was going to get booked against Volk at the end of the year, and then, then obviously nothing happened. Now we got this weird matchup with Lopez. But I feel like Lopez is maybe one of the more dangerous guys for Volkanovski to take on out of those three, which makes this all so much more confusing. It makes it all that much weirder because I feel like against Mobzar, we've seen, Volkanovski defend the takedowns against Islam. Against Lerone Murphy, it's just another striker, and he's not, doesn't have any really danger to him. I think that would be an easy matchup for Volk. Both of those. I think Volk would beat both of them. They should have done Mobzar versus Volk, Lopez versus Murphy from the number one contender. Yeah, that's what I said on my video. Mobzar versus Volk, or even Volk versus Murphy. I'm not even against either. And Murphy, guys, keep in mind, Murphy stepped up on short notice. So that's why also he's a little upset because he's like, hey, I stepped up on 3 weeks' notice. And it did kind of seem like there were talks of, yeah, maybe it seemed like at one point he was getting the title shot. Like we were all talking like, yeah, it's going to be him versus Volk, or maybe it was going to be Mobzar, but we would never have said, oh, yeah, Lopez. And oh, yeah, I wanted to respond about, I think John Dong said Lopez, about Lopez having a more impressive win. I don't think Gene Silva is necessarily way more impressive than Aaron Pico. Because Aaron Pico, there's a lot of questions about him in the UFC, but there also is a lot of questions about Gene Silva. Who knows? Gene Silva can go on a losing streak. There's a lot we don't know about Gene Silva. This chat's going really fast. My bad, guys. Alex versus Cyril. If I miss a chat, just type it again, guys. I think they should do Alex versus Cyril, John versus the winner of Aspinall versus the winner of that when his fake eye injury heals. No, I highly disagree with that, because once again, obviously, that has to be rage bait. We all know, obviously, Sirgon was legit. Also, guys, oh my God, we've been streaming for how long? 16 minutes, guys. I'll open up the Discord. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna open up the Discord. You guys know how it be. I'm starting an event. And guys, this is different from what we did about 2 weeks ago. You guys, we introduced this new format. I believe it was last week. We introduced this new format where it's a stage now, so it's not, people talking. I see Fish Nerds here, and I do have a lot of questions for Fish Nerds. So I'm about to, guys, if you're in there, once again, I can't stress this enough. If you're in there and I don't pick you, don't leave, because then I'll never pick you. But I'm just trying to cue you guys in. Let me just wrap up a little bit of the chat. Let me just kind of speed run this, and then I'm going to talk to Fish Nerds. Mobzar has 3 wins in 3 years. Lerone has nobody. No one cares about him. Lopez had a big win. Well, he's going to talk. Actually, I'm going to have him explain this when we talk to him. Bro fought Sterling last 18 months. I don't think that was 18 months ago. It was like a year ago. But Bro Lopez had 7 months to fight since he fought Mosvar. Is that true? Had 7 months since he fought. Bro had 7 months since he fought Mosvar. Mosvar had 2 months since he fought Lopez. I see what you mean, but okay. So it just seems like a lot of kind of you guys going back and forth. Activity versus inactivity. Mosvar is the Shavkat of the featherweight division. I wouldn't go that far, guys. I wouldn't go that far, because although I guess he did. Did he pull out? Whatever. Let's talk to Fish Nerds. Let's bring him up. Let's how do I give him a speaking role? Okay, invite to speak. Okay. So we're gonna hear Fish Nerds. I think actually, hold up. I'm not gonna be able to hear him in a second. All right. You there? You there, Fish Nerds? Mr. Nerds? Okay, wait, hold up. If I don't hear you, it's because I got to, yeah. Oh, no. Are you there? Okay. Did I just close my Discord? Whoopsie, guys.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
All right,
What's
sorry.
up, bro?
It's kind of weird. I don't got my headphones today, so if I sound funny, my bad.
Nah, you sound normal, bro.
So yeah, I just want to say, like, if we're in this chat, right? Every guy that's in this chat or person, I don't know if there's any girls, but
Man,
the UFC doesn't care about us. We're not the target audience. The target audience is, for them, is like the people who are watching NFL Sunday, and they're hoping that they go, oh, what's this new UFC thing? Let me tune into that. And maybe I know who Justin Gaethje is. Maybe I know who Paddy Pimblett is. That's what they're trying to get to. They don't care that, Armin Sarukian or Morsar Evelev. They know that the common American person that isn't a hardcore fan probably doesn't know who those guys is. Is it right? It's not right. But, that's the fight game. The fight game, I don't care if it's boxing, if it's UFC, it's always been this way. They just don't cater to us. They cater to
wait, hold up. Time out, because I got to ask this.
Go.
Because I saw you talking in the chat. Are you saying that are you just like, hey, this is what it is, and it is what it is, and that's fine? Or are you, like, saying it in a ranting type way? Because it seemed like you're okay with the decisions. What's up, Johnny Monday?
It's not about being okay. It's like the UFC doesn't care if we're okay with it. So I got other things to worry about. It's like, I'm not going to, like, I'm saying there's people over here making 40-minute videos. And I understand content creators. I'm not mad at anybody who makes a video. I'm talking about, like, there's guys going on 48-minute rants. They're making 3 videos a week about how much they don't like Justin Gaethje or how terrible Diego Lopez is. And it's like, okay, that's a lot of time invested. I mean, I hope it pays off. But I'm sorry, we're just not... and I say we because I consider myself a hardcore fan. I think that you're a hardcore fan. I think if you're in this chat, you're probably a hardcore fan of MMA. I just feel like we are not the target audience, because the UFC knows no matter how bad a product they put out, we're going to keep tuning in. It doesn't matter. We're going to tune in and we're going to cry about it, and they already got our money. They're trying to get
what
the
I
people
think, though,
who are the friends.
What I think, though, is that I think that, yeah, look, you're going to have hardcores like us for sure. But, I mean, I also feel like at the same time, like, there's going to definitely be less and less people going. And I think that's what another problem is. And maybe even more which maybe is why they're doing the fights how they're doing them, is because over the past year there's been mad times, and I've talked about this in videos where an event happens, everybody's excited for it, and then it's just terrible. It happened with Islam and JDM, it happened with Hamza and DDP. Like, probably the biggest fights of the year. I mean, Ilya is probably a big exception to this, but the biggest fights of the year have pretty much all ended in like, wow, that was disappointing, So it's like, I think they're trying to avoid that outcome with, Diego Lopez. But I think you got to have a balance. It just seems like I feel like there used to be a little bit of a balance. Like, look, okay, yeah, this division, okay, we're giving this guy a title shot. But now it just feels like every division we're getting fucking undeserving guys. But let me ask you this, because I do want to ask. So but I want to know your thoughts real quick on and then I'll bring on Uwu. But I want to know your thoughts on the whole Diego Lopez, because like I said, I get it about Patty, I get it, but like, you're okay. You're okay with that fight being done.
Okay, I'll be a contrarian. Okay, and let's just be a contrarian. All right, Movsar Evelev. We all think that he's the number one contender, right? That's kind of like the common concept, right? He beat the top guys. He beat Diego Lopez, but he's fought once a year for the last 3 years. I don't care why. He hasn't fought all of 2025, and people act like he's just the UFC is just going to gift him this title. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying that's the way it is. And like I say about Lerone Murphy, I know who Lerone Murphy is because I watch. I watch every show. I don't think he made a good showing when he knocked out Pico, but I kind of think the UFC is holding that against him. I think they wanted Pico to win. I'm not saying these things are good, Jack. I'm not saying that like the UFC is doing the right thing. I'm saying that they
I'm just asking
obviously
because
are.
Didn't you say in the chat? Wait, hold up. I'm gonna pull it up. Didn't you say something like? Because that's what I'm asking. I also think the fake anger over the recent UFC Paramount booking is silly. I understand why but you're just saying because you understand why they did it, even though you disagree.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
That's all. I don't necessarily have to. I don't have to agree. My thing is like when it happened, there's a lot of people who go on rants, and like since I subscribe to you, I subscribe to MMA Joey and a couple others, and it's just like I get all kinds of different feeds about how terrible it is, and people get all emotional, and it's like, really, like this stuff really barely affects me.
I was actually
like,
holding
you
back
don't gotta
tears
get that angry
for mine.
I do hope for the good fights to get booked. I want good fights to get booked. But that card, that first Paramount card, you cannot look at that card and say that it's not a super legit card. Is it dumb that they made that an interim title?
Come on,
Hell
on
yeah,
my
it's dumb
video,
that they
I
made
said
an
it was a
interim
legit
title.
card. I just gave it its props. I said, look, this is a great card. I can't lie. But, and that was where the butt came, was some of these questionable matchups. But no, I'm not denying. Look, it's a great card, and I don't even think it's all that bad. I was saying before on stream, I said, look, I think when we get to fight week, when we get to a few weeks, I think we're gonna just be excited. Is there a fight night before the card? I don't know if there is, but
no, there's no fight night after next week. There's 6 weeks with no UFC.
Yeah, I saw that, right? And then, so the next one is gonna be the first Paramount, the big Paramount one. That's crazy. That's fire, and that's gonna be a fire 2 weeks. The back-to-back pay-per-views. I hope that they build up to the Volkanovski one. But what do you call it? It was good to talk to you, bro. I'm gonna put you back if you wanna. If you're still here, I'll bring you back.
One moment before we go.
Yeah.
One moment. Just one last thing. A lot of people that complain, they're saying that the Paramount card should have been. They wanted. I don't know what they wanted. They wanted a big fight. The first ESPN card was headlined by like Paige Van Zandt versus Amanda Ribas.
Mm-hmm.
This is a big fucking step up.
Yeah. Well, for sure.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, I'll see you. You could stay in the audience if you want to stay on, but all right, guys. That was Fish Nerds. Shout out the one and only Fish Nerds. And if you guys and Johnny Monday, I want to talk to you. And what do you? I want to talk to you because literally I just texted my guy as I saw you say, "What's up, Jack?" I immediately went on my phone to text my guy and said, "Look, we got to get this email verification worked out for my guy Johnny Monday. So don't worry, we got you, Johnny. I didn't forget about you, bro. In the dust, bro is on it. Hopefully, so I'll let you know ASAP when there's an update on it. But hopefully it's soon. Hopefully there's an update on it real soon." And we're going to bring Uwu on in a second, the one and only Uwu, who's a big controversial guy on the channel. Brought him on a few weeks ago and, had beef with a few other people that are pretty consistently coming on the channel, was, it seems like he thinks that Tom Aspinall's faking the injury and stuff like that. And we'll bring him on in a second. He's honestly a big reason why we have this new setup as well. But we'll get to Uwu in a second. I just want to read what you guys have been saying. They want a Mexican champ. They did the same crap with Yair, but I think Diego is def number one regardless. Maybe, I mean, that could be it, I guess, because yeah, they do those like they do those Noche cards and the UFC Noche cards, I guess. But I just don't think. I think that with Yair, at least, he had fought Josh Emmett. It wasn't like totally not deserving. It was an interim title fight, The inactivity argument is also a good argument, though. I didn't think about that about Mosvar. Yeah, and I didn't realize how inactive he was until I went back as well. And then Johnny's explaining his poor Discord shit. What do you call it? I thought you were a tech guy at John Dong. Yo, John Dong, bro, come on, you gotta help our guy out. Green Bean says this is how it starts. We settle for this BS and it turns into more BS. Yeah, no. And I think look, the fans have done anything but settle. I mean, this has definitely been one of the biggest blowbacks the UFC has received in a minute. And with that being said, I'm gonna bring in my guy. I'm gonna invite him to speak. The MMA Uwu, who has been quite active in the Discord, guys. If you guys want to call, Discord link on the top. It'll bring you to this little stage, and you guys can join. What's up? I believe we should have the MMA Uwu here. What's up?
All right, there we go.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's going on, Jack?
What's up, bro? Long time no see. It's like I was telling everybody you were causing problems last time. I mean, there was a few rustled feathers here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like, how's the chat feeling about MMA Uwu? Let me know.
They fucking hate me. It's great, man.
Yeah, you're like the heel in the JackMMA lore here.
I guess so.
As far as Yair, I'm just referring to the multiple shots in a short span with very small streaks. But he didn't really get that many shots. But yeah, what was your take that you came here to give?
You just want to chop it up. You could ask me whatever you want, man. Whatever takes you want to know about.
No. Well, the whole point is people are supposed to come here. Come on with a take, a little bit of this, a little bit of what they think of the MMA world.
Shit, I'll touch up on what Fish Nerd said. I actually, and listen, I sound old as fuck. I sound like I'm fucking 35, fucking 23. I'm a young old man, and I kind of agree with the nerd guy. I think fans give too many fucks. All right, bro. I'm getting smoked in GTA. My bad. Let me put my controller down. My apologies. All right. But I think fans give too many fucks about this shit. I mean, we're looking at it in pretext, and we're going, these fights fucking suck. But we all know, by the time we actually get to the week of these fights, we're gonna be hyped. We're gonna be hyped to see Diego Lopez Volkanovski too.
I disagree with that, but I wouldn't say
you're not gonna be hyped.
I don't care. I really don't care about Diego Lopez and
But you don't just enjoy. All right, so but I guess that's the difference. There's different types of fans. Like, do you give a fuck about legacy and shit and resumes and shit?
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I give a fuck. I mean, even so, like, I just don't even think it's gonna be a good fight. Like, I mean, we saw the fight already. I mean.
What do you mean? The fight was great. It was a back and forth.
It was all right. It was a good one fight. I can go back and watch it.
Yeah, but who cares? I'm just here to watch good fights. Like, I don't really care about.
I'd rather see. Look, I think that
I'd rather see a lot of things, but I'm like, is it a bad fight though?
No, I'm not gonna sit here and say it's terrible, but it's not like one that. But to say I'm gonna be excited about it is a different story. That's what I would say is the difference.
Yeah, I can't tell you what you'd be excited about. I mean, I wouldn't say I'd be excited about it, but I would be like, oh, this is a good fight. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to whatever they got to offer because that's how it works. Like, bro, we just watched Onama versus some fucking who Jack Daniels. I don't even know the nigga's name.
Shout out Jack Daniels, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I see it. Yo, like, I don't like these are the events they're putting on right now. Like, I'm not complaining about no Volk versus Diego 2. I'm not complaining about what's the other bullshit. Paddy Pimblett versus Gagey. Listen, that fight not for an interim title is fire. It's just the fact that it's for an interim title that people got a problem with.
Yeah.
But and this is my problem though with the whole man, Paddy, man, like guys, all right. Like I don't want to break nobody's heart. I know everybody likes do Bronx. Guys, Michael Chandler's a better win than Gamrot, bro. And I know damn well if they said Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira for an interim title, you niggas would be saying like, damn, Justin Gaethje doesn't really deserve an interim title shot, but fuck it. There would be less backlash because you guys like Oliveira more. And even though he doesn't deserve that shit either, people like that delusional shit where he becomes a champion somehow. So they're just going to let that shit fly. But because it's Paddy Pimblett, and this nigga, his best win is Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is better than fucking Mateus Gamrot. And I don't care. No, just look at their careers and look who they fought and look at their performances. Shut up. Like, stop it, guys. Stop fucking around. And then look at Fitzaev. I'm going to be real. If we're counting those as losses, sure. Like, I guess Fitzaev is another one. Like, this is the guy nobody talks about. It could have been Fitzaev versus fucking Sarukian for an interim title. As far as I'm concerned, Rafael Fitzaev beat the shit out of Justin Gaethje twice. And people will sit here and go, well, what do you mean? Gaethje beat him. Go watch those fights back.
They were close fights. Well, I don't know about the second one. The second one, I definitely think Gaethje won, but the first one,
I think Gaethje skated. I think he got the better of him in that final.
But the first one, no, you're right. Like I don't remember. I think I might have scored it for Fiziev as well. To be honest, the first time I watched the fight back then.
But this is what I'm saying. We have Gaethje fighting for a BMF title and an interim title when the nigga who beat him the first time they fought and took him to a split decision on short notice off a layoff the second time they fought is out here getting, like, who's he fighting? Bahamundez? Fighting up-and-comers and shit? Like, the rankings have always been weird. I don't think it matters. Give Paddy the fucking interim title shot. If he gets past Gaethje, give him the fucking title shot. Fuck it. Fuck Sarukian. You know what? I don't even mind Sarukian. I think he beats the shit out of Topuria and Paddy Pimblett. But this is the reality. Nigga, you don't fight, bro. Go fight. Like, you just beat Hooker, finally. Just go fight. They're not... All right, if he sits out and waits for a title shot, they're not going to give it to him. And it's going to be on him. So he needs to keep fighting.
Well, I want to say, though, that the difference, for me at least, between, like, oh, yeah, you could say everyone, because I have seen people say, oh, the rankings have always been shit. The rankings have always been shit. There's always been at least, like, okay, there's a reason for this. Whether this guy is a pretty big star, you know, whether like, there's nobody else. I mean, this is a rare example, and that's what I'm talking about. The Gaethje and Paddy one is whatever. That's a good fight, and it was super surprising that it was an interim title, but okay, whatever, move on. But Volk and Diego Lopez is someone where, you know, we're talking about nobody knows Lerone or nobody knows Mobsar. It's not like everybody knows
who Lerone is, bro.
Huh?
Nobody knows who Lerone is.
No, I agree, but not many people know who Lopez is either. It's not like there's... definitely more people know who Lopez is.
Nick, this is the difference. If you go to, like, some fucking high school and you show a bunch of fucking skibbities some fucking Diego Lopez highlights and you show them some TikTok edits of Diego Lopez, they're going to be like, yo, who the fuck is that guy? And if you show them Lerone Murphy edits, it's so bad, bro.
That's true. That's true. The highlights, even for the trailers, will be better.
Like, Diego's just a highlight fight. He's a highlight reel fighter.
That is true. The promotion will be easy to do.
He's a prize fighter. It doesn't matter if he's the best. Like, there's guys like Nate Diaz was never the best, but he was a prize fighter. No matter who you put him up against, he was going to go to war, and that's Diego. You do not know if you're going to get a war with Lerone versus Volkanovski. You don't know if you're going to get a war with Volkanovski versus Evloev. You know you're going to get a war with Diego versus Volk, especially the second time where Diego has more experience with him, is more willing to step in the fire and lead the dance. I think it's going to be interesting. I think if you're looking at it from the standpoint that it's going to be the same thing that the first fight was, I think you're wrong. I think in the first fight, Diego Lopez was a guy with two years of UFC experience, a little bit in over his head, and was surprised that he even made it that far and did the best that he could with the tools that he had. But I think he went in there and respected Volk a lot, respected his pedigree, respected his experience. And I think in this fight, he's not going to do that as much. I think he's going to go right forward and box him up. I think he looked at the tape like we all have and noticed that Volk didn't want to get in any boxing exchanges in that first fight they had. Every single time Diego engaged in the clinch or in the pocket, Volk backed the fuck up and wanted nothing to do with it. I think this time he's going to take advantage of his range, take advantage of his reach. He's going to frame up. He's going to lance. He's going to do what Prates did to fucking Leon. some shit like that.
So
I
you
think he's
think
gonna put him out. I think he's
you're
gonna knock
officially
him out
predicting
cold.
Lopez, or?
Bro, he's gonna knock him out. It is what. It's not a skill thing. It's just Volk is. It has nothing to do with skill. Volk is way better than him, like pound for pound. But he just can't take damage. It just look at all his last 3 fights.
But look
He
at,
does
but
not
also,
want to talk.
wait, in the first fight though, he did get knocked down and back up, you know, too at the same time. Like, so he can. It does seem like he can get hit.
To keep getting knocked down like that. He's older.
I agree,
Now he's
but what I'm
older.
trying to say is it's not to the point where I thought as well. Like how you're talking is how I was worried
Brother,
going
he
into
got
the first
knocked
fight.
down.
That I was
If
like,
it
yo, he's
wasn't
gonna get
if
touched.
he got hit with that shot and never hit the ground, then I'd be saying no. His chin is still susceptible.
Wow.
It's not like when Diego Lopez got knocked down because he just with his chin in the air and just Volk got caught hard and just got sat down. Like that can happen again. And this time, whereas in the last fight, Diego Lopez respected him and let him get up, didn't engage in the grappling, didn't follow up on the ground. He's gonna do it. Cause you know what's funny? We saw what Diego did to Gene Silva. I think Gene Silva knocks him out too.
God, bro, I hope that fucking we don't see the Volk versus Diego 3. That would just be.
Guys, Volk. What if Volk doesn't retire? You guys know Volk.
He might not. I mean, why not go for the third one? Fuck it. I would. Why not? I mean,
yeah. If he loses this one, I'll go for a third one.
Yeah. If I were Volk, I mean, look, I'm not clamoring for a trilogy with Lopez and Volk, but look, if I'm Volk, I'd be like, yeah, fuck. I mean, might as well roll the dice and try to end up on a win. But I don't know. I see what you're saying, and I definitely think you make good points about the highlights. Because not even just I agree what you're saying about TikTok and shit. That's true. But also like the trailers for UFC, they will be more interesting. So I see what you're saying there, and I guess I can understand their perspective a little bit more. But it's like for me still like. I feel like this has been one of the more like blatant and like recent memory of like, dude, like there's other guys that are in a situation. It's not like this is for a superstar like Sean O'Malley or when Sean O'Malley got the title shot and you were ignoring Marab and stuff. That made a little more sense, but it was like for Diego Lopez, it just was super. And two, the fight I think came out of nowhere. Like normally fights we hear a little bit of rumblings. Oh, like this fight's going to be made. This fight's going to be made. This is like one of the first times that I feel like in a while, these both fights were just a bit surprising that they were happening. So I think that was also a lot of the outrage was just, the surprise for Diego, just the surprise that the Diego fight was going to actually happen. But you got anything else you want to say before I wrap up I put you back in the audience and I read a little bit of this chat?
Yeah. Fucking, Ilia Topuria, man. No, I got Ilia Topuria and Jake Paul before I get out of here. Those are the two things I gotta get off my chest.
All right, let's hear it.
Ilia Topuria is a fucking duck, guys. I called this shit 6 fucking months ago, and people said I'm a hater, I'm delusional. And bro, you guys just gotta trust the pattern. This happens every time when we get a striker and they're making a lot of money, and then then there's a matchup against a grappler that they don't really want to fight. We saw it with Alex, we saw it with Izzy. We saw it with fucking Conor.
Are you saying that Ilya's ducking Patty?
No, I'm saying Ilya's ducking Armin.
Oh, Armin. Okay. But he would have probably fought Patty though. It seemed like that was a done deal. Everybody apparently, I forgot. Armin said this that it was a done deal. Patty and him.
Exactly. Why is that a done deal? Why the fuck does he want to fight fucking Patty Pimblett?
Mm-hmm. But why would he pull out though?
Shit. Why the fuck does he want to defend his title against a shit fucking nigga?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So is this Ilia Topuria is the goal, but he's cherry picking.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't have both.
Yo, real quick, Johnny Monday says, Jack, ask whose side he's on about the Tom situation and the eye pokes from Gon. I'm curious. And yeah, no, I think I know what side I saw.
Give a shit about eye pokes and none of that shit. Make the fight. Why is the fight not? Why hasn't it been rebooked? Why hasn't Tom agreed to fight him? Like, bro, I don't give a shit, bro. It looks like you can see to me.
Apparently, you can't
get
see
the fight,
still.
bro. If you can't see, vacate the fucking title and let Poatan fight Ciryl Gane. I don't want to hear it. Like,
no sympathy for the guy. He gets eye poked.
You don't want
can't
Ciryl Gane
see.
to fight Waldo Cortez Acosta versus fucking Piero. There you go. Boom. Make the title fight happen.
Yeah, Waldo.
I want the heavyweight division to move on. I don't give a fuck about Tom Aspinall.
Waldo Acosta Cortez versus Alex Pereira. I wouldn't be shocked at this point.
That's a perfect title fight.
I really wouldn't be shocked if we get Dana White announcing this tomorrow and he's like, oh, seasonal press conference, main event. And it's like, what the fuck is this random fight?
Yo, Waldo Cortez Acosta versus Alex Pereira would feed families, bro.
That would be so funny, bro. But wait, I want to ask about the Jake Paul thing. What were you saying about Jake Paul? Because I agree with you. I see what you're saying about Ilya. I don't know if he's necessarily ducking. It does seem like I don't know. He says he's going through some divorce. I don't know what the case is.
Hey, yo,
like,
Jack,
with
let
him,
me just.
so.
All I'm gonna say is this about Ilya. He has a history. He has a history of saying, "I'm gonna knock you out" to everybody he has to fight next. The only and he goes and does it very confidently, very easily. The only person so far that he's had put in front of him potentially that he hasn't sat there and said, "I'm gonna knock you out" to is Arman Sarukian.
But I
This
think
is
he
the
will say
only
it
guy
eventually.
that got him acting out of character. First time I seen it. This is the first time we've seen him break character in a while. Arman did it. There's a reason why he's. There's a reason why. This is. And you can sit here and go, well, he's dealing with this shit with his wife. He literally just uploaded stuff on his social media, hanging out, drinking, partying, having a good time. Listen, I'm not saying that doesn't mean he's not going through shit with his wife. But if you're sitting here saying you can't defend your title that you got gifted because you only had to fight Arman instead of the #1 contender, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to go defend that bitch. If you can party and hang out and drink beer, you can cut weight and show up to the UFC and beat the shit out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, look,
so that
I'm not gonna lie to you. Look, I'm not gonna sit here and I defend Ilya just because I don't know what's going on, bro, with his situation. Like, I don't know the specifics. Some people, I see people all the time acting like they know something, like alluding, oh, it's really bad. Wait till it comes out. We'll see when this thing actually comes out if it's as bad as people are hinting and making it out to be. Some people saying, oh, that she's gonna accuse him of, I guess beating her and shit. I've seen some people say that. I mean, who knows?
Well, my whole thing is like, brother, there's so many guys in the UFC that got custody battles, that got fucking divorces probably going on, that got, you know what I'm saying, all types of shit, and you don't know about it because they ain't stars. All of a sudden, we're supposed to, the world's supposed to stop spinning because Ilya Toporo's wife is fucking black niggas and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
Do you have like insight? Is that, are you like, I feel like everybody's got insight on this. Everybody's posting on Twitter, oh, it's so bad, it's so bad, bro. Did you just crack the case?
Yo,
What Ilya's wife's?
Yo,
Yo,
Volk is terrible. Somebody might, if anybody knows Titano, from a lot of chats, he's just a top commenter in many chats. He says Volk is terrified of Mavzar and Tom Paul Aspinall versus Gain. They should do it with cut fingernails next time. But Volk is terrified of Mavzar. I don't agree.
Everybody, I mean, look, honestly, everybody in the chat is low-key flaming you right now. I'm looking over, they say, why the fuck is this baby emotional? This dude's a moron, for real. Why is everyone hating on him?
Hey, yo, Jack, you know what's hilarious, dude? I play a character. I'm literally playing GTA right now, running around as a female.
Hey,
her name is
Don't let the
Anne
haters
Frank.
rock you, bro. Come on. It's all good, bro. I was having a laugh. I was having a good time, bro. I was surprised. I was thinking, look, you come out with I feel like you come out with, like, the rage bait claims, but then it's like, okay, then it's like you lay down a little bit of your foundation a little bit here and there. So I see it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I see it. And
Jack, listen,
I actually don't think
they don't like my character, Jack. It's okay. It's the same reason people don't
but
like.
But no, that's where you're wrong though. They love to hate. That's what the thing is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They love you, but they love to hate.
Bro, you're right. They're fans. They're fans. Exactly.
You're like the yin. Yeah, it's like a yin and yang.
Because I'm not boring. If I was boring, they wouldn't be saying this shit.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
There you go. So you know what, guys? Thank you. Listen. This is the difference between me and you guys. Like, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta get off the Jack's bullshit, and I just got kicked out the fucking GTA server. Fuck you guys. But listen, guys. At the end of the day, I will never sit here and listen to one of you guys say something on a panel and go, "Oh, this guy's retarded. Who's this emotional baby?" Because it's not that serious, bro. Like, I'm not. I don't judge you based off your MMA takes or how you talk on a panel in your free time. Like, I don't know what way you're at, how comfortable you. But guys, I'm sitting here smoking weed, living my life, streaming my own thing, talking to Jack, kicking it. This is not some objective, scientific, fucking analytical data conversation. Maybe it is for you, but it ain't for me. So it just blows my mind how quick people are to go, oh, who's this emotional baby is hilarious, guys. You know, like, I think honestly, a lot of people, they project. You guys are emotionally invested. You guys have a lot of vested interest in this shit. You guys care about the decisions. So you guys just, oh, you're mad because I'm mad. I'm not mad, nigga. Nigga, I'm high as shit. Fucking retard. I'm thinking about fried chicken. I got 8 pieces of fried chicken in the fridge right now, and one of them sitting on top of the bucket because I took a bite out of it. And I'm trying to figure out what method I'm probably gonna mic it and then throw it back in the oven and put it on high. Get that bitch crispy. Nigga, you see where my mind is at? I'm emotional about chicken. Let me get out of here, Jack. You have a good stream, brother. And Jake Paul, listen, stop hating on Jake Paul. He's a great boxer. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what happens against Anthony Joshua. After this, it's not like he lost to some bum. He's getting knocked out or getting beat up by one of the best boxers of this generation. And you guys have to stop saying he's paying niggas off, and that's why he's doing this. And that's that. There you go. Jake Paul is not a piece of shit. He's a good boxer. Fuck off. Go fight him. If you think Jake Paul's easy work, go fight him, you fucking losers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fucking laughing so hard at Rafikura Vajunki. Yeah, he seems really calm and stoic. I was laughing, bro. You guys can't see him, but I can see. If you guys are in the Discord, you guys could actually see him. He shout out to MMA. Ooh, I understand he's not everyone's cup of tea. And yeah, we're gonna talk about his Jake Paul take because that was, I was gonna come out and say, guys, come on, maybe he knows a little bit more than he's letting on. Guys, come on, let him slide this and that. But that Jake Paul one, Jake Paul. I will say this till the day I die. He is a terrible boxer. And I said it. Yeah, he's a terrible boxer. And I know people are like, oh, well, I don't care about, people are going to say, oh, let me see your skills. Let me see your skills. Honestly, I don't even think I should say this because I don't want to get clipped. But honestly, I really think my skills when I'm like training and I haven't trained in a minute, bro. I've been busy. I've been doing shit. I got to get back on my grind and shit. I won't lie to you guys. And I'm not. This is what I'm saying. Well, let me finish this. If I'm training and shit, I feel like I could beat Jake Paul. Nah, I don't know if I could beat Jake Paul, but I feel like I could at least hang out with Jake a little bit and not get knocked out. Because I feel like Jake is just shit, bro. I don't think Jake is good, and I think that Jake has fallen off after the time. I don't know what happened after the time. I think it was maybe the loss of Tommy Fury. We talked about it like last stream. Johnny Monday says, ooh, it was lucky old Johnny is still locked out of Discord. This guy is coming. This guy got trouble coming when I get back in. Yo, we got to see the clash. Johnny, I just got a text actually from my guy Shiv. Shout out to Shiv. And he said that he doesn't know if he could change that. I don't know what's going on. But he said that he doesn't know if that's a setting he can change or something. So I don't know. I'll find out more later, and I'll text him when I'm off stream about it. But I don't know if there's a way for you to try to fix it. Maybe you could do that, but in the meantime, don't know if it's going to happen, if it'll be able to be fixed. But yeah, no, you guys were hating on Ooh, and I was dying of laughter seeing you guys hating on him. First of all, what do you call it? First of all, I mean, look, the guy has, I feel like he's definitely like rage baiting. And a few times I'm like, yo, I don't fuck with like rage baiting, shit. But I also feel like he's not rage baiting, and I also feel like he's just, I feel like playing a bit of a character, being a goof. So I definitely fuck with MMA Uwu. The first stream with Uwu, I wasn't sure about him. I was like, how do we feel about Uwu? How is he doing? And now and he's also been beefing in the Discord. I know he's been getting into trouble. Some people have been, not happy with him. Uwu, shout out to Uwu. And I'm sure he'll be coming back on in the future. Let's see. Motherfuckers have to stop hating on Jake Paul and expect to take him serious. Yeah. The checks to lose to Jake Paul are too good. Oh yeah. Yo, for real. I'll fight Jake Paul for the money. I don't care win, lose, nothing. I'll fight him tomorrow. Like, just give me the money, please. In what possible way could Tom be lying? Literally was on camera and now has proof from several doctors. Yo, for real, like, I don't understand. Like, I thought MMA Ooh said in the chat that Tom was lying before. He didn't say it on the stream when I asked him, but I wanted to kind of stick to one topic. Sorry, Johnny, so I don't want to like nail him on it. But he did say early on that he thinks Tom is lying. And to be honest, I don't think Tom is lying. Obviously, I think that Tom is for sure telling the truth. And I've been saying that since October 21st when the fight happened, or whenever the fight happened. I believe that's when it happened. Maybe it didn't. It was a little later, 26. I don't know, something like that. I'm working on getting it figured out. These nerds are lucky I'm locked up, and they should enjoy playtime until I'm back for sure, bro. Johnny Monday is gonna cause some havoc. Ooh is back. Thank you for having me on, Jack. Same people hating on Jake Paul, hating on me. They hate us because they ain't us. MMA Uwu, no. I want to know what MMA Uwu's thoughts was of me saying that I could hang with Jake Paul. Because he probably would disagree. Sure, I'm hating for not talking like a moron. A few glad you agree. But yeah. Obviously, I agree 1000%. No, I made mad videos about this, dude. Like, I'm telling you, bro. No, obviously, I think Tom is telling the truth. No doubt about it. It was my first reaction. I mean, there's a picture. I've said this time and time again. Like, the case closed. There's a picture of of Cyril Gahn's massive fingers going into the eye of Tom Aspinall. First of all, I hate covering that story of this Tom Aspinall thing. I hate covering it still. It makes me cringe so bad talking about this. Like, ugh, like, I hate the eye stuff. And honestly, I really think that MMA has really made me hate eye stuff and made me really sensitive to it, just because seeing these eye pokes, man. The Bilal one back way before with Leon, that was what, at this point, wow, it didn't even feel that long, but 4 years, damn, flying by. At this point with Bilal, don't think he's faking it, and yeah, Vocoli, don't think he's faking it, and yeah, you have a good night. Ooh, look, can we see a little rekindling, Rafi and Rafi Junkie and Uwu? A little good night this, good night that. But whatever. Yeah, I think that Tom was telling the truth, just because, I mean, dude, like, why is this even a convo? I don't even know why I have to defend this. Like, he clearly was telling the truth. I have no idea how this is even a debate. He literally went bowling with the skull. Bowling with the skull. Yo, literally, that's what I'm saying. Like, literally, he treated his eyes like the little fucking bowling ball holes, you know, and just grabbed them, boom, you know. So yeah, no, I think he's definitely being serious. Let me know if you guys, what topic, what MMA topic should I cover next or talk about right now on stream next? There's obviously a lot going on, and let me actually talk about this real quick. UFC coming up this weekend with Merab and Petr Yan. I mean, this is a card that I feel like is flying under the radar. I don't feel like there'll be much coverage in general about it, just because it really isn't such a huge card. But credit to Merab, bro, for fighting, you know, returning once again. The last pay-per-view on ESPN Plus. Last pay-per-view of all time, really, if you think about it, because we're never going to have to pay, hopefully never have to pay X amount of money to do this. I just saw the name of the video and saw red. Do you agree with Arman having to get in Dana's good graces before he gets a title shot? So my opinion on that is this. If Arman Sarukian, and I'm going to give you, I know it's going to sound like a non-answer, but I am going to give you an answer at the end of this. If Arman Sarukian, if he missed weight, no, I think that, I mean, if he missed weight, yeah, then he should fight to get back in the good graces. And honestly, if you're going to miss weight in a big opportunity like that, you can't really be upset when you're passed up, because you had the opportunity yourself. But if it's something like this where he was seriously injured, then no, I think it is messed up, and I think that they should have even considered rebooking or giving him an immediate title shot, since we would have had Ilya versus Arman or whatever, doing something like that instead. You know, obviously like Oliveira, but, you know, it would have made sense to do that. But my answer, so I know that sounds like a non-answer and I'm on the fence. What my answer, though, would be to that is, at this point, I feel like that there's been enough question to at least say, hey, Arman, can you show us something? Like, can you show us some sort of proof? There's been zero proof shown to us. So I feel like Arman, the ball's in Arman's court. I feel like if he comes out and presents his case and says, guys, I was seriously injured, bro, my back, this is what the doctor said, all this and that, okay, fine. Then I would actually defend Arman. But for right now, I don't even know. I feel like Dana came out and said outright that he missed weight. Dana is not exactly the most truthful guy, and Dana White, I wouldn't be surprised if he just messed up the situation and forgot it in his head, because Arman, I saw recently, also doubled down and say, no, he was injured. He didn't miss weight. So if he did miss weight, and it just seems like something that everybody avoids talking about, like if he missed weight opposed to if he was being injured, it really all depends. But if my answer to that would be definitely if he missed weight, he's definitely got to be back in the good graces. Also, Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua taking place. Guys, this fight is insane. I honestly think that Jake Paul has to owe money. Like, that's really my only logical conclusion I could draw from this whole thing. Like, I think that he owes money. Maybe he made a down payment expecting this Gervonta Davis fight. Maybe he bought a mansion, bought something, made a huge investment. I have no idea. And now he's like, holy shit, I need this money by the end of the year, so I'm willing to fight anybody. Because, look, I understand if you're going to fight a matchup that's like a Tommy Fury 2, where it's like, okay, that's a matchup that makes sense. This is a matchup that doesn't even make sense. It shouldn't even be made if Jake Paul had a 20-week training camp, let alone or a year to prepare, let alone fucking, a couple weeks. I actually would be more interested if it was like, Jake Paul, you're going to start preparing in January, and at the end of the year in December, you're going to fight Anthony Joshua. Like, that would be crazy. It'd be a long build-up, but I would definitely... It would be interesting to see because Jake Paul would have enough time to build up a little bit. But I still think he would ultimately lose, as I just said before. I don't think he's a very good boxer. I really think if he lasts... I mean, I don't know. I think that Jake is a different matchup than Francis, and people are going to compare Francis and this and that, or they're going to say, like, oh, Francis lasted only 2 rounds. Jake Paul lasted an X amount of time with him. Obviously, they're 2 different matchups. Jake is faster, literally Francis doesn't move that much. He's easier to get hit. I think what will probably happen, I think we're going to see a lot of feints from Anthony Joshua that's going to open up Jake, and I think he's going to get caught. I think the feints are what's going to kill him. Anthony Joshua has really good feints, especially in recent years of boxing. He has really good feints, and I think doing that, it's going to make, he's just going to land one by one, and then he's going to catch him, bro. Like, I cannot believe it. Like, I really can't. Like, I don't know why Jake would do this, and like I said, this is boxing, bro. Like, this is even beyond just a career you got to worry about. Like, bro, I'm actually thinking his health, he might actually, like, be rendered unconscious for, like, a long time. I would be shocked. I mean, if Jake went to distance, let alone beat Anthony Joshua, I don't even know what would be the game plan would be. I don't even know. I mean, Anthony Joshua's taking it on short notice, so you can, I guess, hope that he's not prepared. That he's going to come in. Maybe he can get tired after 4 rounds. But even then, this is an 8-round fight. The guy's used to fighting 12 rounds for how long? I mean, even him. I mean, at the highest level, fighting Usyk, went through 2 Usyk camps. When's the last time that AJ fought? AJ fought Dubois, right? Like a very long time. Oh, it was a long time ago at this point, right? Like, how was it a year ago? I don't know. But he fought a decent amount ago. So, I mean, the best hope maybe is that maybe that he's not ready. All right, let's see, guys. He last fought Daniel Dubois. Yeah, it was... Oh, no, was this September? No, it was last September. Yeah, last September he fought Daniel Dubois. And I believe... Yeah, it was last September he fought Daniel Dubois. So he's basically taken a year and a couple months off and not fought since. So I guess you can hope, like I said, maybe he'll get tired, but I don't think so, guys. And Jake Paul's gas tank has also been terrible. And if Jake Paul is, building up weight, it's going to only hurt him. Dude, I want to know what you guys think. Like, Jake Paul is tripping out. And I agree that the Anthony Joshua result doesn't necessarily determine how good of a boxer he is. I mean, look, if he goes all 8 rounds, maybe that's a different story. If he knocks him out, that's a different story. If something dramatic like that happens. But, I mean... I don't think anyone's going to see him get knocked out. And then no one's going to see Jake Paul get knocked out in the first 2 rounds and then say, oh, Jake Paul's a shit boxer. But what I've said time and time again, which is kind of what makes this matchup prove, and people might look at me like, oh, Jack, you're crazy for saying this, but I stand by this and I'm going to explain. This fight being booked, the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua fight, I said this, and I don't mean to keep repeating myself, proves why Jake Paul is a bitch. What proves that Jake Paul is a pussy and he won't take on a really good matchup, because he is avoiding. He would much rather say, I lost in the first round against Anthony Joshua. Guys, it's Anthony Joshua. I took him on short notice, this, that. He would much rather say that than to say, oh yeah, I lost to a guy who was equal skill as me that I actually had a fair chance of beating and lost, because that's way more embarrassing. Like, nobody's going to give Jake Paul shit for losing to Joshua. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. What I think could happen though is, will that kind of need be felt like, oh, Jake Paul lost, who cares? We don't really need to see him again. I don't care about him anymore. He lost. That I think is a real possibility. And I think if he gets knocked out cold, that everything else could be an afterthought. And goodbye. I mean, you're not going to get a Gervonta Davis fight. I don't even know if he wants that anymore, but you're not going to get that. You're not going to get a Tyson Fury fight. I mean, I doubt it. I don't think you're going to get an Usyk fight. I mean, you can go back the MMA route, but do people even want to see that? There are talks of a Nate Diaz rematch. Did Joshua not KO Francis, LMAO, round 2? Yeah, exactly. This shouldn't even be a debate. I'm just curious to see, I mean... Will Jake Paul just run around the ring and try to make it 8 rounds? I think even if he tries to do that, I think the feints are going to open up, which is also what got Francis, but it's going to open up Jake, and I think Jake will get knocked out. That's my prediction, guys. I'm going to wrap this stream up in a little bit, so guys, let me know what you guys think in the chat real quick. Any last suggestions? I'll leave the Discord open a little bit if you guys want to make a last call. I'm going to close in like a minute or so, or a minute or two, so... We'll see, and then I'll wrap up the stream. But you guys can bring up anything. Yeah, I mean, what else is there? We talked about pretty much everything, right? Ronda Rousey stepping in, or Ronda Rousey maybe boxing. Talked about this a little bit about the Tom Aspinall situation. We talked about the whole, UFC debacle. We talked about this weekend, Merab Pioryan. Think I'm going to go with Merab. Pretty safe to say, but I mean, you never know with Merab's injuries, though. Merab's in a lot of back-to-back training camps. There's also, Joshua Van versus Alexandre Pantoja. That's a really good fight. And another fight I'm excited about, and I don't know who will win that one. I think Pantoja will win, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a sneaky upset or something like that from Joshua Van because he's looked really good. So I wouldn't be surprised. But also I'm excited about Henry Cejudo and Sean O'Malley. Those are all good fights. Not Henry Cejudo versus Sean O'Malley is actually a really good fight. I like that fight. But Peyton Talbot versus Henry Cejudo, I mean to say, kind of similar guys if you think about it. Both long, skinny dudes and strikers. But I think that Cejudo is going to beat him. It's a little surprising to me. What I think about Peyton Talbot, here's my theory about Talbot. The whole Talbot thing is very interesting. He's an interesting guy because he's hooked up with not literally hooked up. I don't know if they're dating. I mean, there's been rumors. That's why I'm being kind of careful with how I phrase it. But he's, connected with Frank Ocean. Let me repeat that. Let me repeat that. Peyton Talbot is connected with Frank Ocean, and that they have like Instagram posts together. I think they don't know if they live together, but there was things of them in each other's apartments. I think Frank Ocean was supporting him around his last fight. I think. And we don't see him fight all that often. So my thing is, I think he's kind of caught up in this celebrity scene. I think that maybe he overpriced himself to the UFC. Maybe he said, hey, look, I'm a poppin' guy. I'm clearly going to be a big star. Let me ask for a little more money. And the UFC is kind of saying, well, then you got to prove you're worth that money. We're going to give you a guy like Cejudo. We're going to put you on a pay-per-view. Give us our money's worth. And this is his opportunity to get the money worth, get his money's worth. And with a win against Henry Cejudo, I don't know. I don't think the matchup really makes sense because even if he beats Cejudo, I think there's still plenty of tough challenges ahead of him. I don't think this guy's ready at all to be at the near the top 15, and I think that's what a win over Cejudo would put him in that top 15 conversation. Like, okay, well, who would be next? Cejudo I thought was in the top 15, but I'm assuming he's not, given that this matchup actually took place. Let me see. Okay, so UFC rankings I'm on right now. The bantamweight. Where it is? Yeah, Henry Cejudo is number 10, guys. That's crazy. Henry Cejudo is number 10 in the world, and Talbot's getting that. What do you guys think? Is that not crazy? That's fucking crazy. Top 10 already? I mean, like I said, guys. All right, guys, I'm gonna close the Discord. Okay, so Payne Talbot. He fought against in the Oliveira card with Topuria, and that was a fight a lot of people were surprised. Some people, I think he was an underdog actually in that fight, and he lost against Rayono Barcelos, and that was a fight I actually predicted he was going to lose. Shout out to me back in the day. But yeah, I think that this is similar to the Rayono Barcelos fight. I actually might be picking. I'm gonna disconnect and end the stage, guys. I just ended the call. I'm gonna probably pick Henry Cejudo, guys. I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable with the fact that Payne Talbot, he's, in this celebrity lifestyle. He doesn't really fight that often. I think I don't know. I don't think he's ready for Cejudo, personally. Cejudo isn't, I'm not saying that he's even not washed, but that's what I'm trying to say about Payne. I feel like he's that unready that I think Cejudo was going to be him, but I don't know. I go back and forth, so that's not like official done deal that I'm picking that, but I'm kind of leaning towards it. I've been leaning towards it for a while, so it might wind up being what I picked, to be honest. But let me know what you guys think, guys. I had a fun time talking to y'all, fun time talking to you, the people that joined the Discord. Shout out shout out Fish Nerds. Shout out all you guys, Johnny Monday, Rafa Junkie, Eric Ghoul, Presser, CC, Mitch 97. I don't know if he liked my take on Armin because he never actually said anything about it, but hopefully he did. Hopefully he wasn't angry at my take, at my wishy-washy take. But I did say, look, it really does come down to Armin, because I think Armin's got to prove himself a little bit, like in terms of not prove himself as a fighter, but prove, hey, like I was injured. There was actually a serious injury here because if he missed weight, I don't think you have as much of a right to complain about that type of stuff. And look, I'm not, and that isn't to vilify you and say that if you're a fighter that missed weight, fuck you, you piece of shit, and this, that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is you can't also then complain about, you know, the situations when you had a title shot night before, you fumble it. You know what I'm saying? You fumbled the title shot. And if that's the case, totally different story than just an injury. Injuries happen, and I think people give way too much shit for fighters for injuries. They're unfortunate and it sucks. And injuries are a thing where, like, you know, if you're gonna blame someone, you know, or if an injury happens and you want to blame someone, there really isn't anybody to blame usually, you know. So who are you gonna blame? The fighter? I mean, a lot of people do. A lot of people just blame the fighter, but I don't know. I don't think that the fighter should be blamed necessarily, especially always. It depends. Even when I say it depends, I honestly feel weird always. Like, I don't think I've ever criticized a fighter in my life for pulling out because I've never even fought not injured. So what the fuck am I supposed to say? I'm not hopping in an octagon and fighting. So what the fuck am I supposed to say that? So that's my opinion. Now some people might say, oh, well, they're fighters. It's, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it, but that's just been my stance, and that's why I don't really talk about it that much. To be honest with you, like, I don't really talk about, like, oh, fighters' injuries and, oh, fuck them for pulling out, and, like, look, it happens, and it's just going to happen. But my whole thing in saying that is, Armin, I'm not going to say, oh, you should have fought. I don't know what the hell this guy dealt with, you know what I'm saying? So if he was injured, okay, show something to show that you were injured, show some sort of report. I mean, it's been a year. Dana White, when he said, in my opinion, when Dana White said Armin missed weight, that was when Armin should have said, hey, look, I'm putting, like, if you're going to make this claim about me, I got to have to, you know, put something out on my own and explain, hey, there was no explanation. And I think that to me, that spoke volumes that he didn't come out and was like immediately like, no, what is he talking about? I was injured. Because I would think if you were injured, you would be upset that Dana White would say that. And be pretty offended. I mean, obviously it's a weird situation where you can't talk so bad about your boss. We know this about the UFC, but, you know, I don't know. I would have thought that he would have come out with a comment, come out with some sort of scan, come out with, I mean, you would think for you to pull out the day before because your back had to be some sort of bad back injury, unless it was because you missed weight. Who knows, guys? I wouldn't have minded to see Armin versus Patty. I would have, honestly, all those matchups are good to see. And I don't really, like I said, I've said this, I don't really care so much about that one. It's more about the Volk Lopez, but who knows, if they stack a good card, which it does seem like they're trying to do, make these good cards with the seasonal press conference, make it a big deal, and really launch into this Paramount deal. Hopefully there's some big fight announcements there. I hope it's just a really good event, the seasonal press conference. I hope, you know, because we've seen so many times Dana White, hey guys, what's up? It's the UFC here, and it fucking just announces some dumbass fights on Instagram Live that's lagging. I'm excited to see a press conference where it's, okay, now we actually have these fighters. They're facing off. It feels like a big event. It feels like this is actually all leading to something. This is all some sort of big thing. And, yeah, we're seeing monumental fights be made. And I brought this up so many times. Then we're going to wrap it up. But I brought this up so many times. The best example of why you should have a seasonal press conference is the Dricus du Plessis-Sean Strickland first fight. Because, remember, they had that press conference where DDP, you know, dissed Sean and brought up about his dad and his dad abusing him, which the next day made them fight each other in the crowd. And yeah, like, if that press conference didn't happen, you would have had none of that. And that could equally happen. I'm curious to see who will be in it. Like I said, will O'Malley be there? Will Yadong be there? I think if they're in there, I think that's a sign that this press conference won't be as stacked unless they're really just going to go full UFC Noche when they went to the Sphere and every fucking person's going to be on that stage. Who knows? I mean, there were teases of big stars. I don't think that Conor McGregor would be there, but I mean, that would be a crazy reveal. Hey, Conor McGregor's pulling up. Conor McGregor's here. And he's just here to talk about how he is going to fight Michael Chandler at some point the next year. It's not revealed when, but maybe that'll happen. Could take on fighters not deserving criticism for pulling out due to injuries. Not their fault. If they chose to fight injured and lose, the fan base and the UFC don't care, so why fight injured? And yeah, that is the biggest thing to me, is like, if you're somebody that's going to say, oh, like, fight, come on, oh, how are you going to pull out? If you're going to be like that guy, don't simultaneously criticize fighters like, oh, you fought injured, and that's that. Like, have it one way or the other. Like, you're going to shit on a fighter for not fighting injured, and then you're going to shit on a fighter for fighting injured. It doesn't make sense. And, you know, we could talk about that all day, you know, and I don't know, guys. The UFC, though, I do feel hopeful. I'm excited. I hope with this Paramount stuff. And who knows, guys? Also keep in mind, this was the last year of ESPN. You know, we forgot about that. This is the last year of ESPN. The UFC, who knows how motivated they are themselves. Maybe Dana White says, you know what? I'm fine. You know what? Let me go focus on boxing. This thing needs to be built right now. Next year, let's go off with UFC. Maybe that's just my delusional brain speaking. But look, I think that this will be a wake-up call, though, because I do feel like that the noise, the anger was loud from this, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up here. A shout-out to all y'all. Love all y'all. Love talking to you guys every Monday. We'll try to stream sometime earlier. I was pretty busy this week with the holidays. But definitely, like I told you guys, in like 2 weeks, the streams are going to be a lot more frequent. Ironically, when there's no UFC during that like 6-week gap we have, there'll be a lot of content coming from me. And it's always hard making content. Damn, it's 6 weeks. It does feel like, though, there's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of news lately. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I got to make 2 videos a day type shit. So it's always good to see at the end of the year when news is speeding up, guys. Shout out to all y'all. Shout out to everybody, all 11 of y'all here. Shout out, bro. If all y'all could put in the chat and say good night, I could sleep well, and I could actually go to bed. But if not, I'm going to be haunted with all sorts of dreams. But yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. I think I'll just be haunted with the dreams. Sorry, guys. Didn't mean to go depressed. Full on depression at the end. But also check out Mike Check Podcast, NYC's hottest podcast. Shout out. Check out the channel. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I'm going to log off now, guys. I love you all. And I'm going to see you guys in the next one. New video Wednesday. And yeah, let me know what else you guys want to see from the channel, because I'm curious.